Do 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 do. Hi everyone, I'm Lauren, your sewing buddy, and today we are delving into the first project from my UFO box, which is also the most recent project. First or last in, first out. Please excuse my shoulder straps here. It's still pandemic, and I am a new mom, and life is life. So I've got the materials here to create the second panel, which is the fix I've decided to go for rather than taking that first panel out and creating a new wider one. I'm just going to create a second one of the same size. So I apologize for all of this work being off screen. I thought I had my staging figured out in my video frame, but I may have been incorrect. And so a lot of what you're seeing will be off frame, unfortunately. But what I'm doing here is tracing the original panel that I made. It, of course, doesn't include the seam allowances, but I can always add those in. This will give me my stitch lines if I weren't drawing on the right side of the fabric instead of the wrong side of the fabric. But, mistakes happen again and again and again. On the couch arm behind me, you can see the baby nail file. It's kind of like a Dremel, but for baby fingernails. And it has a cuticle attachment that I found is actually very helpful for stopping me from biting my cuticles, because I can just sort of grind down those rough edges that I would normally want to chew off. Just a little aside while I'm working off screen here. You saw there a moment of think, think, think. That was me trying to do pattern matching and figuring out exactly which way that would need to go. It didn't turn out perfectly, I'll tell you right now, but I'm not thoroughly disappointed with it. I mean, all things aside, with the pattern that I have, because it's not actually truly repeating, which is odd. That or it's a very wide repeat. Anyway, it was very difficult to find a pattern that matched, so I did my best and it turned out okay, and that's all we can really ask for, right? But since, again, all of the action is happening outside of frame, let's skip ahead to where we get things more together. And that's the point of cutting out the interfacing for this project, which is, again, just triangles. That was an error that I made, was relying on the stretch of the dress to make up for the lack of shaping in these panels, and you'll see that later. But right now I'm just tracing out the shapes that I had cut earlier, and getting the interfacing ready to get ironed onto the lining. And so here we are back at the sewing machine. I'm going to start off with the side of this that I do not need to actually sew on the machine, which is the top side, top edge. So that's, this is just all kinds of fun with this dress, honestly. But I am going to sew along those stitch lines that I drew earlier. And this at least gives me a nice line to follow for after I flip this out and turn it in. Just means I have to undo these stitches that I'm doing right now. And then, of course, that explains why I'm actually sewing the entire thing closed, because obviously if you're going to turn something out, you want to leave at least some part of it open so you can pull the fabric through. But I just wanted to explain why you're seeing me do this ridiculous thing. And now that hopefully I'm done making mistakes on this project, I thought it would be nice if we sat and had a little stitch and chat like we sometimes do here. I'm trying doing that in the middle of the video just to see how that is with all of you, see how that feels for me, and, experiment, because that's what we do here. So, life-wise, things are starting to smooth out. Um, Baby actually slept through the night one night this past week, so that was amazing. Vaccines are on the horizon for those of us who do not fall into any special categories for that. So that's also something to look forward to. Um, the Jody's parents are vaccinated at this point, so we actually got to, uh, meet with Jody's dad the other day and kind of not get too close. Like we were all still masked and outdoors, but just, not feel as worried about it. Even though we've all been super safe, but, you know, super safe is super safe. um, yeah, and we are dealing with some health issues with Jody's mom, but we're not going into that. Just, that's part of what is going on with our life. Uh, oh, and here you see I have um, sewn that piece together, and I'm going to fold the edges in, and then I'm just going to do a little stitch along the top edge to get that closed up. I am going to pin it first though because it is a little bit fiddly, and again I'm trying to match those seam lines that I drew pretty exactly so that it matches the other panel that I have. Um, so while I'm doing that, other things, mostly baby related, like he's huge. Last doctor's appointment, he was 27 inches almost, and I know he's grown since then. He's not learning to crawl yet, but he can stand up straight if we're holding onto his hands. He is a strong baby. um, no talking yet, some sign language, like he knows how to sign that he needs a change, he knows how to sign for food, although most babies do that, just putting their hand up to their mouth. But, um, yeah, everyone thinks their baby is the smartest baby in the world. But we know that he's trying to do big things, like he basically willed himself into existence, so whatever pace he wants to go at, that's all him. The weather's been getting a lot nicer, so we've been going out for walks, him in the stroller, of course. But, today it's up almost 90 degrees, so we're gonna stay inside and hide from the sun instead, because that's kind of what you do when it's hot out. Like, I got up this morning, closed all the windows, closed all the blinds, and it's managed to stay fairly decent inside. Nowhere near as hot as it is outside, so thank goodness for that. Because I know Finnegan does get fussy when he's too warm. Like, he cannot tolerate it. Uh, Same with too cold, though. Like, when we just pull him out of the bath, if we take too long in getting him dressed, then he's also fussy from that. Um, yeah, for the stitch, what I'm doing here is, I don't know if it has a name, but I'm just um, doing like a 1/4 inch stitch through one side, going back a little bit, and then a 1/4 inch stitch through the other side, making sure I'm not going actually to the outside of the fabric, just those parts that are folded in, so it's kind of hidden within that seam. It, I mean, on close inspection, it's not really hidden, but at least it's not showing through as top stitching or anything like that. Um, yeah, there's still not a lot going on here. Um, we are really excited for vaccines and like getting to see friends maybe in the fall. Maybe LARPing can happen again soon, sometime after that. Um, in which case there will be more LARP related projects. Um, I would also like to take this time to tell you to check the links in the description. Getting some kicks from Finnegan there. Um, the links in the description for my Coffee, Patreon, uh, social media accounts. and um, also any links from people who have donated to my coffee, which so far is just Pocket Full of Posies. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, and also like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. If they're at home still bored and need someone to talk at them and do some crafty things, that's what I'm here for. And in any case, I think that's enough rambling. Let's get on to the end of the project. And here you can see what it would look like all put together. I've just used pins for right now, but the edge here, because it was the center seam, is nicely finished already. So I just need to slap my panel on top of that, stitch that in place, and then figure out what I want to do for a closure. I know I do need to fold the tops down and adjust that shaping because I don't want some kind of weird fan thing on the front of the dress. Um, so what I wound up doing is darting it in a couple of places, and it sort of darts on top of darts, and it's a little bit of a mess on the inside, but the outside is super cute, as you will see. And I also went for a zipper closure because the uh, hooks and eyes I would have done would have taken a long time, and I finished this on Wednesday. Um, so let's get to the reveal. Here it is. It's all finished. It's functional, just what I wanted it to be. Everything that the original dress was, plus a little bit more room. I do need to figure out a different bra situation or put some kind of extended panel up there, but otherwise I'm very happy. This is done, and I hope that you go create beautiful things.